Gentlemen, my friends, fellow compatriots, fellow humans from across the planet, I am Nikhil Parekh. In this video, I shall be talking about my book titled If You Cut a Tree, You Cut Your Own Mother. Poems on environment, wildlife, Mother Nature, global warming, as well as giving you a recitation of different poems of mine from this book. So friends, let me commence with an introduction to this book of mine. About the poetry book, this compilation of natural poems is a tribute to infinite elements of Mother Nature in its most glorious form. Each poetic stanza brings out the eternal beauty of the natural habitat and proves time and again that wildlife and nature are the two most quintessential parts of God's celestial earth. That wildlife and nature are the two most quintessential parts of God's celestial earth. The more man devastates his own environment to quench his cannibalistic desire, the more he treads on the path to ultimate ruination. Be it an inconspicuous mosquito, leaf, seed, or a gigantic human form, tree, by killing either, you are committing the greatest sin. Because for the Creator, every form of life, whether tiny or Herculean, is pricelessly equal. One effusively brilliant poem after another. Parekh creates awareness in our burgeoning youth to conserve and protect untamed environment, wildlife. The poet exhorts everyone to be blessed with every richness of this planet by letting nature and wildlife spawn just the way it did when the Lord had created this earth. Just the way it did when the Lord had created this earth. This earth millions of years ago. This book aims at disseminating the message of environment and wildlife conservation in each of its verses, which are interwoven with the splendor and sparkle of God's bountiful chapters of creation. With the splendor and sparkle of God's bountiful chapters of creation, whilst unceasingly describing the naturally panoramic beauty of this universe. The poems within urge the innocent child in each one of us to come forward, help save the environment, and at the same time be a princely slave of its wonderfully ravishing fragrance, which makes you realize our true mission and roots in life. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I shall be giving you a recitation of 4 different poems from this book of mine. These 4 differently titled poems are Good Morning Sunshine, If You Cut a Tree, You Cut Your Own Mother, Go Green, and It Was Soon Going to Rain. Of course, at any juncture of victorious existence, you can purchase this book of mine from Amazon.com. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I will give you a recitation of my poem titled Good Morning Sunshine from this book of mine. Good morning, sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for filtering stringently through my dingily dilapidated window, embedding optimistic rays of hope in my life. Good morning, cuckoo. Thank you for waking up my gloomy sleep with your poignantly austere sounds. Good morning, grass. Thank you for rejuvenating my dreary souls as I trespassed on your voluptuous carpet with your magnificent sheath of dewdrops, tickling my skin to unprecedented limits. Good morning, delectable pet. Thank you for clambering up my bed, awakening me with a pleasant jolt as you flapped your slippery tongue over my rubicund cheeks. Good morning, shirt. Good morning, shirt. Thank you for imparting me with compassionate warmth as I swung you over my naked chest the instant I broke my reverie. Good morning, wife. Thank you for providing me your mesmerizing shoulders to rest upon in times of the treacherous night. Good morning, ducks. Thank you for quacking so boisterously that I became oblivious to all the loneliness and wretched depression that heavily circumvented my life. Good morning, air. Thank you for so celestially wafting into my nostrils, seductively caressing my mass of unruly hair to transit me higher than the heavens. Good morning, lotus. Thank you for spreading your ingratiatingly pink petals. Thank you for spreading your ingratiatingly pink petals into full bloom. Inundate my solitary life with astronomical happiness. Good morning, tea. Good morning, tea. Thank you for profoundly reinvigorating my diminishing breath, fomenting me to walk briskly forward with untimed exhilaration. Good morning, alarm clock. Thank you for deafeningly puncturing my eardrum, triggering me off from invincible sleep when all other conceivable things had miserably floundered. Good morning, water. Thank you for pacifying my thirst, inevitably providing me those few sips of liquid to quench scorched chords of my throat the second I detached from horrendous dreams. Good morning, soap. Thank you for providing me tons of enamoring foam, which metamorphosed my bedraggled persona into one of stupendously distinguished authority. Good morning, national flag. Thank you for fluttering so handsomely in the atmosphere, propelling the spirit of patriotism to escalate unsurpassably in my veins. The second I nimbly opened my eyelids at dawn. Good morning, soil. Thank you for impregnably holding the foundations of my dwelling, harboring my inconspicuous demeanor while I slept like a newborn infant in the perilous night. Good morning, apple. Thank you for providing me that incredulously quick bite before I eloped for office, prepared to kick on with my schedule for the acrimoniously monotonous day. Good morning, mother. Thank you for silently creeping up beside me when I was in bouts of thunderously sound sleep, gently caressing my hair, embodying my shivering countenance with a sweater she had specially knitted for me in the day. Good morning, tree. Thank you for generating appeasing draughts of wind that diffused through my window as the sun crept up in the sky. That diffused through my window as the sun crept up in the sky, making me feel that I was indispensably alive. Good morning, breath. Thank you for blissfully circulating through my lungs enveloping me with the tenacity to divinely pass, enveloping me with the tenacity to divinely pass the gruesomely precarious night. And good morning, world. Thank you for granting me the right to harmoniously exist amongst you. Walk shoulder to shoulder with your blessed grace in every aspect of exuberant life. And good morning, world. And good morning, world. Thank you for granting me the right to harmoniously exist amongst you. Walk shoulder to shoulder with your blessed grace in every aspect of exuberant life. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled, If You Cut a Tree, You Cut Your Own Mother. So here is a recitation of my poem titled, If You Cut a Tree, You Cut Your Own Mother, from this book of mine. You are not just cutting the tree's artistically slender branches, but by doing so, you are in fact barbarously cutting the inimitably priceless hands of triumphantly vivacious Mother Nature. You are not just plucking the trees gorgeously affable leaves, but by doing so, you are in fact tortuously plucking the unparalleled divine sensitivity of spellbindingly undefeated Mother Nature. You are not just indenting the tree's poignantly gregarious trunk, but by doing so, you are in fact sadistically indenting the unassailably jubilant chastity of unbelievably proliferating Mother Nature. You are not just abusing the tree's incongruously uninhibited contours, but by doing so, you are in fact outrageously abusing the pricelessly unabashed swirl of peerlessly undefeated Mother Nature. You are not just defecating on the trees innocuously protruding and sprawled roots, but by doing so, you are in fact sacrilegiously defecating on the unshakably redolent embodiments of wondrously enthralling Mother Nature. You are not just chopping the trees merely swaying tendrils, but by doing so, you are in fact deliriously chopping the perennially fructifying innocence of gloriously omnipotent Mother Nature. You are not just trimming the tree's ecstatically liberated outgrowths, but by doing so, you are in fact unnecessarily trimming the beautifully venerated womb of victoriously blessing Mother Nature. You are not just kicking the tree's bountifully untainted stem, but by doing so, you are in fact ruthlessly kicking the sacredly spawning bosom of brilliantly unfettered Mother Nature. You are not just peeling the tree's rustically majestic corrugations, but by doing so, you are in fact pervertedly peeling the invincibly silken skin of effulgently burgeoning Mother Nature. You are not just burning the tree's unflinchingly valiant wood, but by doing so, you are in fact insanely burning the fearlessly formidable strength of ebulliently cavorting Mother Nature. You are not just victimizing You are not just victimizing the tree's indisputably royal foliage, but by doing so, you are in fact truculently victimizing the insupportably unbridled sensuality of ubiquitously ever-pervading Mother Nature. You are not just disorienting the tree's ardently boisterousness, but by doing so, you are in fact hedonistically disorienting the eclectically fascinating solar plexus of royally everlasting Mother Nature. You are not just ridiculing the tree's endlessly inscrutable labyrinth of hollows, but by doing so, you are in fact nefariously ridiculing the unfathomably enigmatic belly of stupendously ameliorating Mother Nature. You are not just jailing the tree's effervescently nubile body with an unceasing jugglery of devilishly stabbing electric wire, but by doing so, you are in fact unforgivably jailing the infallibly supreme identity of impeccably omnipresent Mother Nature. You are not just nailing the tree's immortally fragrant heart, but by doing so, you are in fact diabolically nailing the celestially undaunted fabric of ecstatically frolicking Mother Nature. You are not just dumping the tree's philanthropically unimpeachable cradle with your fetid garbage can trash, but by doing so, you are in fact reproachfully dumping the mellifluously humming mouth of exuberantly evolving Mother Nature. You are not just bombarding the tree's timelessly gargantuan splendor, but by doing so, you are in fact baselessly bombarding the perennially beautiful virility of unlimitedly stupefying Mother Nature. You are not just spitting upon the tree's resplendently beaming face, but by doing so, you are in fact unpardonably spitting on the impregnably spotless heavenliness of vivaciously magical Mother Nature. You are not just uprooting the tree from its very eternally compassionate soil, but by doing so, you are in fact sinfully uprooting the quintessentially blessed existence of benevolently healing Mother Nature. So always remember, oh salaciously greedy man, that the next time you wretchedly pulverize, abuse, trade and victimize Mother Nature, you'll be in fact demonically asphyxiating your very own omniscient mother to the most ghastly death, as yours and everyone else's mother was first and foremost born out of the womb of Mother Nature, was first and foremost the child of unconquerable Mother Nature divine. So always remember, oh salaciously greedy man, that the next time you wretchedly pulverize, abuse, trade and victimize Mother Nature, you will be in fact demonically asphyxiating your very own omniscient mother to the most ghastly death, as yours and everyone else's mother was first and foremost born out of the womb of Mother Nature, was first and foremost the child of unconquerable Mother Nature divine. Unconquerable Mother Nature divine. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled Go Green. So here is a recitation of my poem titled Go green from this book of mine. Green is enchantment unparalleled, transforming every beleaguered bone on disdainfully crackled earth into a festoon of undying replenishment till times beyond eternity. Till times beyond eternity. Green is the ultimate magician's wand, perpetuating every speck of the atmosphere with a tranquil so victorious that it became the smile of each symbiotic countenance alive. Green is the most everlastingly compassionate caress of nature divine. Green is the most everlastingly compassionate caress of nature divine, royally accommodating infinite organisms of different shapes, sizes, color, and charm into a blanket of invincible frolic. Royally accommodating infinite organisms of different shapes, sizes, color, and charm into a blanket of invincible frolic and togetherness. Green is the most pricelessly inimitable definition of freshness, incessantly spawning into the undefeated dazzle of optimistic dawn to enlighten the entire universe with the colors of brilliant newness. Green is every sore eye's perpetual delight, wholesomely shrugging off every wretched insinuation of monotonous commercialism with the effervescent newborn foliage of earth divine. With the effervescent newborn foliage of earth divine. Green is the most supremely mollifying tonic to the incarcerated soul, alleviating the most inconspicuous of its sorrow with undying enigmatic whispers which reverberated till beyond the infinite. Green is the most fragrantly uninhibited dance of every organism alive, as the unsurpassable buckets of rain pelted unfettered from the belly of fathomless sky. Green is the most pristine shade of prosperity at its unbelievable hilt, shimmering like a newborn child, replete with only happiness in every flamboyant ray of the sun. In every flamboyant ray of the sun and the equally royally moonlit night. Green is the destiny which never ever dies, astoundingly proliferating into a boundless landscapes of blooming life, which made the most parasitic robots as the greatest poets till as long as God's earth survived. Which made the most parasitic robots as the greatest poets till as long as God's earth survived. Green symbolizes the most blissfully perfect truce between austere white and diabolical black, where the winds of majestic moderation transit every living being to the paths of bountiful righteousness. Green nullifies the very non-existent roots of anarchic depression, profoundly enthralling one and all in the neighborhood with the tantalizing vivaciousness of a fairy who had descended down solely to magnetize rustic soil. Green evokes unconquerable desire in every ingredient of the blood to be one and in perfect unison with Mother Nature. Let the unbridled beauty of her endless creations harness every aspect of impoverished existence. Green makes you the most unabashed artist alive, as you bewilderingly fathom for the starting point and the horizons on the infinite canvas of the Lord's panoramic sanctuary, on the infinite canvas of the Lord's panoramic sanctuary. Green makes you the most passionate lover on trajectory of the endless planet, damning all inhibitions to the corpse as you fervently rolled into grasslands of desire. Breath intermingled with the breath of your beloved. Green is an ever-pervading rainbow which charms even the most deadened of mortuary with its rustle and innocent grace. Sprinkling quintessential ounces of vibrant life wherever it mystically crept. Green is the ultimate harbinger of all peace and unity on the distraught globe, as it vanquishes every sinister trail of the barbarously marauding devil. With the freshness of love, creation, and blessed fruits of the divine. Green radiates an unshakable aura of optimism to the farthest quarter of the world, maintaining the most unbelievably perfect equilibrium between the sky, the earth, and diminutive man trespassing in between. Green represents the free spirit of every continent, race, wind and space under the sky, immortally continuing the chapters of God's sacred creation. By timelessly proliferating into an infinite more of its color and kind. Therefore, what are you waiting for? Go green. Plant a tree in every barren bit of space that you could lay your hands upon, and then witness your sown children become the most undivided race of togetherness, friendship, love, and peace, even centuries after you were dead. Therefore, what are you waiting for? Go green. Plant a tree in every barren bit of space that you could lay your hands upon, and then witness your sown children become the most undivided race of togetherness, friendship, love, and peace, even centuries after you were dead. Ladies and gentlemen, I shall now give you a recitation of my poem titled "It Was Soon Going to Rain." So here is a recitation of my poem, "It Was Soon Going to Rain," from this book of mine. The squirrels suddenly commenced to boisterously gallivant through the branches, jubilantly diffusing into a festoon of uninhibitedly ecstatic sounds. The rivers suddenly increased their pace a trifle, ardently clashing against the resplendently glittering rocks that confronted them in their way. The roses suddenly came back to vibrant life after the sullen day, triumphantly radiating an unsurpassable ocean of unassailably mesmerizing scent, and a cradle of voluptuously crimson clouds suddenly embellished the sky, enveloping its fathomlessly barren periphery with stupendously spellbinding color and grace. Oh yes, your guess was as good as anybody else's on this gargantuan planet. The true sullen tyranny of heat was soon about to disappear into the isles of nothingness. It was soon going to thunderously rain. The truculent tyranny of heat was soon about to disappear into the isles of nothingness. It was soon going to thunderously rain. The sparrows suddenly started to ebulliently whistle. The sparrows suddenly started to ebulliently whistle, euphorically deluging every cranny of this fathomless atmosphere with an everlasting entrenchment of fantastically enamoring sounds. The kangaroo suddenly sprinted in air like never before, ecstatically racing through the unfathomably timeless wilderness with the astronomically indefatigable enthrallment of Mother Nature in their stride. The eggs suddenly hatched into the most fabulously beautiful of fledglings, permeating the fabric of the gloomy air around with an unrelenting volley of divinely newborn life. With an unrelenting volley of divinely newborn life and sound. And a blanket of gorgeously titillating clouds suddenly enlightened the sky, majestically painting its empty belly with streaks of poignantly compassionate and everlasting empathy. And a blanket of gorgeously titillating clouds suddenly enlightened the sky, majestically painting its empty belly with streaks of poignantly compassionate and everlasting empathy. Oh yes, your guess was as good as anybody else's on this boundless planet. Oh yes, your guess was good as anybody else's on this boundless planet. The salacious whiplash of acrimonious heat was soon about to wholesomely abnegate. It was soon going to indefatigably rain. It was soon going to indefatigably rain. The lions suddenly pumped their fur an extravagant trifle, victoriously parading through the insatiably untamed outgrowths of euphoric scarlet and green. The bells in the sacrosanct temple suddenly started to incessantly ring, casting a spell of impregnably mystical incantation upon every religion caste heavenly alike. The shadows suddenly started to mischievously flirt with the vividly life-yielding ground, merrily jingling even as the serene tranquility of dusk was a overwhelmingly far-fetched cry, and an unconquerable cistern of enchantingly vibrant clouds suddenly perpetuated the sky from all sides, irrevocably crowning it as a royal prince of all times. Oh yes, your guess was as good as anybody else's on this endless planet. All satanically impeding sweat was soon about to evaporate till times beyond infinite infinity. It was soon going to miraculously rain. All satanically impeding sweat was soon about to evaporate till times beyond infinite infinity. It was soon going to miraculously rain. The peacocks suddenly unveiled their feathers a wholesomely profound blossom, disseminating a wave of ravishing excitement in even the most infinitesimally deadened particle in the lugubrious atmosphere. The bees suddenly started to melodiously sing and dance, omnisciently replenishing many a traumatically agonizing heart with a mountain of incomprehensibly unending sweetness. The snakes suddenly forgot to horrifically bite. sensuously intermingling for times immemorial with the last rays of the setting sun. With the last rays of the setting sun. And a panoramically exotic canvas of enigmatic clouds. And a panoramically exotic canvas of enigmatic clouds suddenly enshrouded the Herculean sky, impregnably clinging to it like the ultimate seductress of its impoverished life. Oh yes, your guess was as good as anybody else's on this timeless planet. The mercilessly decimating battlefield of belligerent heat was soon about to crumble like a pack of cards. It was soon going to perpetually rain. Oh yes, your guess was as good as anybody else's on this timeless planet. The mercilessly decimating battlefield of belligerent heat was soon about to crumble like a pack of cards. It was soon going to perpetually rain. Ladies and gentlemen, my friends, fellow humans, fellow compatriots from across the planet, it honestly was my privilege to have given a recitation of my poetry to your victorious jurisdiction. From the innermost realm of my heart, I wanted to express my gratitude to you for having so gloriously patronized my poetry. Of course, at any juncture of victorious existence, you can purchase this book of mine from Amazon.com. Thank you for listening to me.